SuperTalk Mississippi media production. Pike County, here comes your morning show. Dave in the morning on 93.5 FM, SuperTalk Mississippi.
So now, understand, you're not going to dictate to me what I do and what I don't do, but I'm still the mayor, Mr. Brown.
None of this meeting is recorded. None by any parties. Correct?
No, sir, mine is recorded. I'm being accused.
Any conversation.
Said I want to make it on record. I want the allegations in writing, or the accused, or on recording of this harassment.
And now, here's your host, Dave Hughes.
You know, it's always the way. I need a longer intro. And the reason why I say this, probably 3 times in the last 2 weeks when I've had a guest in here, the conversation got really good and it was time to turn the microphone on. And then we're stuck not talking about that anymore. It's very depressing. Welcome to North Pike Thursday, brought to you by Chad Reed, your shelter insurance agent, Southwest Supply Company, and the Southwest Center for Rehab. And joining me in studio from North Pike on North Pike Thursday, Miss Tracy, dear. How you doing this morning?
I am great. How are you doing?
I'm doing fantastic.
I'm so glad to hear it.
Yeah. Now, we were talking before we came on the air. Not that. No.
Okay.
Unless you want to, we can talk about.
We're good.
We can talk about the UFOs. We
have questions. It's fine.
Yes.
We have questions.
My favorite thing about that, and you'll appreciate this because this involves words, this involves language. You'll appreciate this. I love how immediately, correct me if I'm wrong, these are objects that are flying that we haven't identified.
Right. So
that is a UFO.
Unidentified, yes.
Flying objects.
Yes.
We immediately started calling them drones. Why? Because semantically, that's, you know.
We give drones for Christmas. I mean, like people, you order those from Amazon and they're used, but UFOs, ET's coming.
Oh, it's just a drone. I got Bobby one last year for his birthday. That's no big deal. So they immediately force-fed everyone this innocuous word.
Absolutely.
Context
matters.
Instead of using other words like, you know, the laser gun or probes, you know, and none of that is, it's a drone.
It's a drone. It's just a drone.
Taking pretty pictures of our military bases. But that's another story for another time.
Yes.
How are things going at North Pike? What we were talking about beforehand that I was referring back to is, North Pike, the schedule goes right up to Christmas.
It does. We still have a lot of school left. We have to finish out this week, and then we have to go next week. Our dismissal day, our 60% day, will be next Friday, the 20th. Yes, I know on our campus at the junior high, it's like 12:15 buses will roll. It'll be different for, the other campuses. We have different start times and end times, but in that range. So be prepared, parents. They're coming home. But yes, we still have lots. We have exams. We have lots of things still left to do.
You know, Christmas is a wonderful time. They get early dismissal on the 20th. By about midday the 21st, some parent is going to say, okay, when does school start back?
When does it start back? Yes.
Yeah.
Yes.
But it's been a heck of a first semester.
It has. It's been great. We have been just having a great time out at our junior high campus. Tonight, we have a basketball game. It's the last basketball game for the junior high of the season. They finish up before Christmas. High school will continue on, but junior high. And we have hosted our basketball games this year at our gym out at the formerly known as middle school. Okay, we're the junior high now. We just have 7th and 8th, if you don't remember. But it's back out there at that gym, and Miss Benefield and the crew, all of the crew in the district, and Dr. Smith have worked really hard to, host that back out there. It just helps, and we have flat screen TV scoreboards, and there was painting done, and lots of laminated signs, some professional lamination done by the librarian, and telling everyone where to sit and go. And absolutely,
a little quick plug. We're just
a little plug for my laminating skills.
Yeah.
But we've had a great time. So if you haven't been, if you want to be nostalgic and used to play out there in the gym back in the day, come on out tonight. I think they start at around 5. There's a 7th grade girls, 8th grade girls, 8th grade boys. Will be playing tonight from what I saw on the schedule. I think that's right.
And did you say this is the
this is the last for the junior high? Yeah,
of the season for the junior high.
And we have don't know when they're playing next. I should have looked better, but soccer's been going on too. That's out at the field. Used to be the football field. Of course, we still play junior high football out there. We've had those games this year. We have soccer games out there. Our kids have been involved in lots of sports, and it's worked where last block of the day, several groups of them get to go over to the high school with those coaches. So that's been great. Our kids participate in junior high football, but volleyball that's kind of blended in with the high school. They have junior high, but the same coaches. Our softball girls, soccer, they get to do all kinds of things.
That kind of changes the dynamic when you move the basketball and all of the other sports to the same facility,
Yes.
the same campus, as opposed to having to go back and forth all over
Yes.
the place. That changes things.
Yeah,
doesn't it?
it's been great. We've had our FBLA sponsor take over, like doing concession. Miss Lawson's been running that. We appreciate it. It has been nice. It was a little pause at first. I was like, oh, we're going to, because that's our PG. We just don't think about it. You're like, oh, okay, we're going to do it here. And so they've got it really looking nice, keeping those floors shine. I was there taking some pictures at a game. It's fun. It is fun being back back out at your house.
Yes, and it gives a different layer, an extra layer to home court advantage.
Oh, yes, absolutely. We want that.
Yeah, because if the other team doesn't have to use GPS to find you, you have no advantage.
No, they're like, where are we? Where, they're looking for the nearest Dollar General.
They get off the bus disoriented, blinking in the sun. Oh, yeah, you got them right where you want them.
Hey, I've traveled with my daughter when she was in the band, and we went to a few places that I thought, we are going to get our tails kicked because they really have nothing else to do but dominate us in football. Okay, so I know that feeling.
They take a break for supper and not scheduled. They just all kind of wander back over to the field.
Yep, and here you go.
Yeah, exactly. So a lot of good stuff going on there. Of course, one of my favorite things in the world is library stuff, books.
Yes,
love me some books.
Oh, I really do love my job. I really do.
Hey, you got a laminating machine.
I have a laminating machine, and I have books, and I they're still at that age, junior high, 7th and 8th. They're going through some things here, figuring out who they are. They don't know if they want to be at the high school, but they want to be at the high school. They don't want to be at the elementary anymore. They're figuring out who they are. Our kids go from having all of those years of having very few teachers, just little 1 to 2 teachers a day, a little, and then they come out, and we're the practice for. We are the big world, but we're the practice for it too. But no, but they're in that age where they're still funny, and they still have just a little bit of that innocence, that sweet, but then they're also trying to grow up on you. And they're funny. I love them. They come see me in the library, and we chat about books. I do a lot of readers advisory, which is my favorite thing. They're trying to figure out what they want to read, or what they need to read, or what they want. And I just love it. I love hanging out.
You mentioned that. I want to highlight this. Figuring out what they enjoy reading is so important, because they get forced to read a bunch of stuff they're not interested in. And in a lot of cases, to me anyway, that turns them into people that don't like reading by default.
It is tough. And I've watched it. My own daughter is a sophomore in college, so I've seen her go through these stages. And I know she's one person, but I mean, I've seen it. And, they will go through the of course, picture book, early chapter book stage, where they will read like they are breathing air. A lot of them do. It's a lot easier to motivate them. The books are short, they're quick, on to the next one, and it's got pictures, it's got this, and it gets harder. And then I know that age that I have them, that 7th and 8th grade age, a lot of times you can totally shut that off depending on how you handle it. Like, you do need to give them some expectations of, we can't, I relate everything to food, it's like food. You can't eat ice cream for every meal, okay? But there's nothing wrong with ice cream. So your books are kind of like that. You want them to have the meat and potatoes and vegetables and grow their brains, but we can't say every book you read must be a classic written 100 years ago.
Yes, or longer.
Or longer. Or they're just going to, or if you make everything a job, a task, an assignment, there has to be still that pleasure in it, or they're going to stop. And I also know that when high school comes up, they do have assignments. They do have usually some more detailed, in-depth homework, sports that we were talking about. And I was talking to William over there about the sports schedules. Their time becomes less. People that go on to college, most people in college are not reading for relaxation because their brains are exhausted. So I know what's coming. And my hope is to get them, as they get older, to like it enough so that when they get over all of that craziness, they'll come back to it.
Yeah. They'll remember the good days.
Yes.
But for them to remember the good days, there have to be good days.
Yes, absolutely. We have some clubs with the library that we try to host during rotating lunches through the month. It's once a month each. I have a manga club, because that is huge, and that is something you kind of battle. People have their opinions about illustrations as you get older, audio books as you get older, just things, and that's a whole segment in and of itself. But
don't get me started, because the same people that complain about that go home every day and sit and watch TV for 5 hours and then go to bed.
There you go. So I am and I do try to discuss. So we have our manga, and when we first started that, for those that don't know, that's, if you know what anime is, it's animation, and manga is the print version of that. It's Japanese. You read it backwards, which is fun. I was putting labels on some books I got in this time, and I'm like, okay, wait, the book, and where do I, it even has a guide of how to read it, but it is Japanese, Asian, and I've asked them before, when they started all the buzz, like, oh, you need to get some manga. You need to get some manga this year. I'm like, oh, okay, there's a lot of it, so y'all need to guide me. And why? And why do y'all love this so much? Because the children, I mean, these students, it's not like you can look and go, oh, I bet you like manga. No, everybody, every group. And I said, what do you like so much? And they start using words like, oh, well, I love how the main character, they'll go on this quest and you'll see them change. And I'm going, okay, when I was teaching language arts, and this is what I wanted on your essays, but you weren't giving it to me because I was making you read about old men in the sea,
Yes.
But when it's a character their age or so, and that they're going through some things they might be going through, they talk about it. It's awesome. And so I'm like, yes, read that. If it gets you excited about the character and what they do and how the plot goes, they're using all of these words. What in the world?
The other thing about manga is, I think a lot of people don't realize, it has some very strong soap opera elements.
Oh yes,
to it.
Absolutely, yes.
So yes. You got to realize there's a lot packed into that.
Yes.
But that goes back to what I was saying, and I've told this story before. I have a son, one of my sons. They were about to hold him back in third grade years and years and years ago. This is back in the dark ages, many, many years ago. And then over that summer, just on a whim, I bought him the first Harry Potter book when it came out.
Yeah.
That's how long ago it was. He was having trouble. He was struggling reading. He took that entire novel and read it in a day and a half and said, "Are there any more?" And then when he wound up graduating, he had the highest number of AR points in his class.
I love it.
So that's all it takes. You can
It's just
spark
finding
that.
it. And I said I relate it to food, but I do have this analogy. I always, when someone says to me, I don't like to read, I feel like you are saying to me, I don't like food, because I think it's just a matter of there are types of foods you don't eat. And I don't want someone to fix my plate and tell me to eat this, and I have no choice. So it's like that with books. I'm like, I think, you just haven't found the right one. I do think there's books out there for everyone. And I mean, some people, maybe that doesn't interest them. They don't want to sit, but you don't have to sit. You can get an audiobook, clean house, and read like I do.
Well, yeah, my wife does that. But
Yes.
I taught my wife a lesson because she had, and we're talking about reading for fun here. We're not talking
Yes.
about reading
Yes,
something
that's-
that, you have to write a paper on.
Yes, and that's
or
necessary, but yeah.
all that, you got to finish it. But she gets books all the time. And she was complaining one day because it was so hard to finish this book. I said, don't finish it.
Yeah, you don't have to.
And she said,
You're grown.
What? What?
You're grown.
I said, there will not be a quiz. I'm not making you write a paper on that.
Yeah.
No one is. If it's not fun, this activity you're
yeah.
doing for fun, stop
doing it. It's amazing.
But that gets ground into everyone's
Yeah.
head. Once you start a book, you must
Yeah.
finish it, no matter how horrible it is. That's the lesson.
I like to ask my students why, if they don't like a book, I want to hear why. And
Yeah.
it's I learn more from that. I had a student, she's very animated, quite hilarious, and she loves to talk books when she comes in. And one time she came in, I am so mad at this book, and she's putting it down. I'm like, oh, this is what I live for. Tell me more. She's like, she was just so dumb, this character. Anyway, I just live for that kind of stuff. So yeah, we do have our manga club, that's that niche. And then we have, standard book club, but we do more like book review activities, book discussions, meeting once a month. I know for adults, it can be like, hey, read this and then come back in a month. For junior high students, that format wasn't the best, but we do a lot of book discussion things. And then we have our writing club, and it's, again, not homework assignment, go home and write. It's short prompts, fast things. Just one of my favorite is to do this like domino writing, where you take a prompt, it's like a sentence and a half, and then you write the next sentence, and then you pass it to the next person, and then they have to add on to what you've said, and then so you're kind of stuck with the storyline. It's fun.
And there's always at least one joker in the group that takes you in a completely
weird
at
junior high, and
Yeah.
then I get the privilege of reading them out. Like, they normally want me to read to the group, and they get to do this while they're eating lunch, so that they learn some social skills too. It's great. But yes, I get to read it out, and there's normally a pause where I give them this look, like, seriously.
And you can tell which person wrote it because they're sitting back
absolutely.
grinning from ear to ear.
Yes.
Like, go ahead.
But that's part of them. But yes, so that's what we're doing out there. We're learning and still trying to have that fun, but we have tests and exams and classes, and yeah, we still have to do the things.
Now, the next exercise in developing a healthy addiction to consumerism is coming up, in February?
Oh, yeah,
I think, right?
February. I will have our book fair coming up. And I'm so excited. It's during Valentine's week. It'll be during that week. So, I love books always. And I do love book fair. I really do. Because, again, I get to see that side of them where they come in, they have that little twinkle. And I will tell my 8th graders, I'm like, normally I don't believe they have one at the high school. I mean, if they correct me, they'll correct me if they start one. But I'm like, this is going to be your last book fair until you're like a book fair parent went down the road, and they're just like, all right. I'm like, but you're going to miss this. Yeah. 8th graders are unimpressed with life. I love them, but
Just
it's
in
okay.
general,
Yeah, just in general, they think they're grown.
Well, but that's the thing. And as someone who was in junior high once and raised kids who went through junior high, there is one aspect of that age and that period of school that really makes me admire all of you that work in that field of education. And it's that during that time frame, human beings go insane. They just lose their minds.
Yeah, a little bit.
There's not a Cocoa Puff in sight, but every one of them's cuckoo. It's just the way. That's part of growing, though. That's part of maturing.
Yes, and you have to know. I mean, if you're going to teach junior high, you have to be aware of their developmental process, and we're there to teach that, help guide that responsibility, and have those expectations. But we know they're not grown, but it's a fine line.
They think they are.
They think they are.
They are convinced.
I love them though.
You do bring up an interesting point in the middle of all that. Can we start an adult book fair?
Oh, I know. Absolutely. I really do.
On.
It keeps twirling around in my brain that I'm like, oh my goodness. Now, I will say the closest to it, it's probably not quite, are the book festivals that are our state and our neighboring state put on. The Mississippi Book Festival in August, and then in November, I believe, Louisiana Book Festival happens. They have authors and book. There is a book tent. I went to the Louisiana one year, and it's right there at the Capitol in Baton Rouge, like out on the lawn and inside things. And I mean, I walk into this tent that is as large as I don't know what, and there are just books on tables, and you would have thought, it's like, but to hear authors speak as well. So it's not quite the same vibe, but it's close. Definitely attend those.
Now I got to go to the bookstore. Thanks, Tracy.
Yes. Oh, we have one right here in Summit. I'm just going to give them a free plug. It is kind of like a book fair. They have lots of stuff in there too, as well as books. I'd say go see Busy Bees. Yeah.
Were you there waiting for them to unlock the door on opening day?
Near about. I gave them a few days. My personality, only because I'm just not a crowd person, and I'm not. It wasn't long though. I was in there.
Yeah. I suspected that. Yeah. That was my guess. Anything else we want to hit before you?
No, I did bring you. I know we're not on TV. I did bring you a button. That's another thing we do out at the junior high. We are all about the pins and buttons. Yes. So you get to have a very Merry Jaguar Christmas, and it's blue.
Awesome.
My students, it's kind of like our version of a Letterman jacket. We're not quite there yet, but we have them for the seasons and the sports and the spirit. But now they want one for everything. Like, I'm in student council. Do you have a button? I do student of the month buttons. Like I do all these sports, and they put them on their band instrument bags, and we're having lanyards for our IDs. And so you get to be part of our Jaguar button family.
That is awesome.
It's fun.
Can I get one for I didn't make my bed this morning?
Well, I've joked that we need adulting ones, I came today. Give me a sticker.
I'm awake. Leave me alone.
Leave me alone.
In the form of a button.
Yes,
it'd be perfect.
Absolutely.
Always enjoy having you over here.
I love coming.
And we could do, this for the next 3 hours. I have no doubt. A lot of people would slowly raise one eyebrow over the course of the show, but we would get there. It would be fine. Yeah. Tracy Deere over at the junior high basketball junior high season ending tonight.
So come on out. If you've been saying, I need to get there, you need to get there tonight. I warned you.
You have no other options.
Christdale, be there.
So get on out there. The former location of the North Pike Middle School.
Yes.
You got a 20-minute drive to get back now, don't you?
Near about. Yeah. It's not too bad. A little scenic.
That's all right though. It's going to be fine.
Yeah.
Always enjoy it. We are taking a break, obviously, and we will return in just a moment. North Pike Thursday brought to you by the folks at Southwest Supply Company, Chad Reed, your shelter insurance agent, and the Southwest Center for Rehab.
It's a win-win with rehab at the Southwest Center for Rehabilitation and Sports Medicine. We're able to restore activity, strength, and range of motion right after injury or surgery. We offer targeted therapy by designing and adjusting specific treatment plans for individual needs, whether from sporting activities, arthritis, amputation, or everyday injuries. Get back to doing the things you love to do and feeling good while you do it. Contact the Southwest Center for Rehabilitation and Sports Medicine, 601-249-4758, 303 Marion Avenue, Macomb, or at smrmc.com.
Did you get it switched over to shelter insurance?
Actually, I found a deal online.
You did? Does your deal come with award-winning customer service?
Oh, I'm not sure.
Does the deal include a local agent?
Doesn't actually say.
Can we create a customized plan that fits our needs? Let's just call the local shelter agent.
For insurance that fits just right, find a shelter agent near you.
Come see me, Chad Reed, at 800 Rock Street for all of your home, auto, and life insurance needs. We're your shield, we're your shelter.
Macomb Wholesale Paper Company has been servicing our area for years with quality supplies. Macomb Wholesale Paper is your local source for supplying your office, restaurant, concession stand, or household, cleaning and janitorial supplies, food service items, and more. Got an event coming up? We offer daily rentals on popcorn machines, snowball machines, and cotton candy machines. Call 601-684-5521 or visit our new location at 1036 Gordon Covington Road in Summit. Macomb Wholesale Paper Company, delivering weekly to Macomb, Summit, and the local area.
Needing some extra cash? Do you have any fine art, rarities, military memorabilia, scrap gold or silver, watches, coins, or currency, broken old jewelry that you don't need anymore? Come see us at Selman's Tuesday, December 10th through Thursday, December 12th, and turn that into cash on the spot. Experts here to help you out with your needs, and then you can do some Christmas shopping. Selman's, 1311 Delaware Avenue, Macomb, your family-owned and operated jewelry store since 1945.
Don't miss Dave in the morning, even when you miss it the first time. You can catch it on the podcast, missing out would be a crime. SuperTalk 93.5 is always the place to be. Wanna get the podcast version? Here, my friend, is the key. SuperTalkPikeCounty.com, it's all there and it's all the rage. Spotify, Amazon or Apple, or just right there on the page. Dave in the morning, late at night, or anytime you have to pray. SuperTalkPikeCounty.com, it's all there and it's all the rage. Spotify, Amazon or Apple, or just right there on the page.
I got to figure out where to put my button. Boy, it's a great button. This is like pro quality too. This is nice. It's got a Christmas tree shape made out of jaguar paws. All of them dark and lighter blue, except for the one at the top, which is red, and it says a Merry Jaguar Christmas. That is cool. They've started the Jaguar Button Society over at the junior high. I like that. But that is also a great example of something that we kind of lose sight of over the years. We've talked about this before. At some point, especially these days, everyone decides they reach some certain point and they go, no more fun. We're not doing anything goofy. It's all serious all the time. Well, that's no way to live. I mean, it's not. You're sucking all the joy out of life. If you don't believe me, go look at a 7th grader and talk to him for 10 minutes, and then go talk to somebody who's 40 and been working a job. Tell me if you pick up on different levels of happiness and enjoyment of life. Yeah, you got to hang on to the good stuff as well. You know who does that perfectly? President-elect Donald Trump. I told you he's been having a great time today, a big day for him. He got to ring the bell to open the New York Stock Exchange and was named Times Person of the Year today. I assume he was picked because if they had picked Kamala Harris instead, there would have been riots. She was on the short list of nominees. She was on the potential list. So, yeah, there would have been trouble if they hadn't gone this. I mean, they had Elon on the list. Could have gotten away with that one probably. But aside from that, no. This was the correct choice. But there is somebody who, he's serious, he gets business done, he means business, but you also get the distinct impression he's having a really good time. He's just enjoying life. We need to capture more of that and bring it back to life. No. Mo says it's almost Christmas. I heard Porky Pig sing Blue Christmas. Now I'm waiting for Hans Gruber to fall from Nakatomi Tower. Nothing says Christmas like splat. What? That debate's been going on for a while. Is it a Christmas movie? Yes. Next question. That's an easy one. Couple of things going on that I want to briefly mention here. President Biden let over 1,500 people off the hook today. The Pope has called for debt reduction for poor countries. Let's define poor. Because here's my question. When you go to the bank for a loan, they determine your eligibility for a loan by what? They look at your income, they look at your assets, and they look at your debt. The debt-to-income ratio is a thing. If you use that, where would America rank in terms of wealth, credit worthiness, whatever? That's what I'm saying. If you're just doing a head count of the number of shekels you got in the vault, that's one thing, but that's not how the world works now. So that's a great idea. How are you going to determine who gets to pick which nations have their debt reduced? Now, that kind of goes along with 2025 is a Jubilee year. They do one every 25 years in the Catholic Church. Traditionally, a Jubilee year, all debt was forgiven. Just all went away. So this does tie into that. I haven't done things that way in quite some time because, well, people get cranky. But just wanted to throw that out there and ask you, okay, if the United States was a human being, let's call him Bob. If Bob went to the bank with his income, with his debt and his assets, what kind of loan could he qualify for? Could he buy a moped? Because that debt to income ratio will get you. Ask anyone in banking. So when we come out with ideas like that, that's great. How are we figuring this? Meanwhile, a new rule finalized yesterday by the Consumer Financial Protection Bureau would cap overdraft fees at $5. You have an overdraft fee, you spend more money than you have, which, you know, it does happen sometimes, just as an oopsie. Checks cross in the dead of night and something hits 10 minutes before the deposit hits and you got a problem. Well, overdraft fees can go from $20 up. So this new rule would cap them at $5 for a lot of people. They say that would save up to $5 billion per year on overdraft fees in America. Said it would save the typical household about $225 per year. That sounds good on the face of it. But let me ask you this. I don't get me wrong. On the face of it, it's not a bad idea until you start thinking about it more in depth. Those fees that are going into the banks for overdraft. If they're forced to make those go away, what else is going to increase to make up the difference? I mean, that's the question you always have to ask, and it's the question no one ever seems to ask. So I would hope that everybody involved in this process took a really good, hard, long look at what kind of effect it's going to have. We have to do that with everything. Now, having said that, I would like to also point out this is coming from a group that is part of this bureaucracy that we're hearing so much about lately. The Consumer Financial Protection Bureau. Nobody elected in there. Just they're bureaucrats. They're making the law. This is definitely a problem. We have too much of it. And it needs to be addressed. It needs to be fixed. Now, I have seen a wave, and I've heard about another wave of people having their cars broken into. Had someone last night complaining that they had their gun taken out of their vehicle in the dead of night. Okay, class, what am I going to say? What am I going to talk about? You know. Exactly, Mose. Thank you. Mose weighed in and said, yes, cutting out $5 billion is fine, but also reduce banks' income by $5 billion. Up go interest rates. That's what I'm saying. Where are they going to make it up? And who's going to pay for that? Everybody. These are the things that have to be considered. You have to keep this stuff in mind. Because if you don't, you're going to wind up burning yourself pretty severely. You're going to look up one day and go, oh, wait a minute. Turns out this stinks. But then you're stuck with it, because if there is anything more stubborn than a bureaucratic rule shoved through the system with not enough forethought and oversight, if there's anything more stubborn than that to remove, I can't think of it. Once it's there until somebody comes in with a thresher and just runs over the whole property. Why do I have a feeling that's Elon and Vivek Ramaswamy's new nickname, the Threshers? Ronnie, in answer to my question, what am I going to talk about? Lock your car. Yes. Another one, equally important to me, stop leaving your gun in the car. Putting your gun in the car, just leaving it there, leaving it unlocked, and going to bed. Well, that's practically an IQ test result. If you think that's a good idea, and then you want to be upset when somebody walks up, opens the door to your vehicle, and just walks off with the gun you left in there. I think I speak on behalf of everyone who was in high school in the 80s when I say, Durr. Don't do that. We continue on this Thursday morning on Super Talk, Mississippi, Pike County 93.5, right after this.
Needing some extra cash? Do you have any fine art, rarities, military memorabilia, scrap gold or silver, watches, coins or currency, broken old jewelry that you don't need anymore? Come see us at Selman's Tuesday, December 10th through Thursday, December 12th, and turn that into cash on the spot. Experts here to help you out with your needs, and then you can do some Christmas shopping. Selman's, 1311 Delaware Avenue, Macomb, your family-owned and operated jewelry store since 1945.
Don't miss Dave in the morning. Even when you miss it the first time, you can catch it on the podcast. Missing out would be a crime. Super Talk 93.5 is always the place to be. Want to get the podcast version? Here, my friend, is the key. SuperTalkPikeCounty.com. It's all around, it's all the rage. Spotify, Amazon, or Apple, or just right there on the page. Dave in the morning, late at night, or anytime you have the crave. SuperTalkPikeCounty.com.
Weekday mornings at 6 after 9 on 93.5 FM, or you can catch up anytime by going to
SuperTalkPikeCounty.com.
Dave in the morning at SuperTalkPikeCounty.com. Catch up and catch on.
Tired of being what you want me to be, feeling so faithless, lost under the surface. Don't know what you're expecting of me, put under the pressure of walking in your shoes. Caught in the undertow, just caught in the undertow. Every step that I take is another mistake to you. Caught in the undertow, just caught in the undertow. I've become so numb, I can't feel you there. Become so tired, so much more aware. I'm becoming this. All I want to do is be more like me and be less like you. Can't you see that you're smothering me?
If you didn't hear about it yet, listen to Super Talk Mississippi News, the capital murder trial. Sheldon Timothy Harrington Jr. that we've been following, accused of kidnapping and killing his Ole Miss classmate a couple of years ago. Jury deliberated for 9.5 hours yesterday. Couldn't reach a unanimous verdict because of one person. 11-1 was the vote every time. And a mistrial has been declared. So, we'll take another run at it, right? Another piece of advice from Ronnie: as long as you're going to leave your car unlocked and your gun in there, leave your debit and credit cards in there too. Yeah, checkbook. Fat stack of 20? No, nobody has a fat stack of 20s. Come on. Any loose change you have laying around the house? Your pets? Everything. Just cram them all in the car and go to bed. You're making fun of a bad decision. One bad decision. Well, yes. I'm making fun of a bad situation. The bad situation is you did a dumb thing. Hate it, don't like it, certainly don't like it, but not sure sympathy is the response that should be expected in that situation. Just my thought. Couple of other things going on. One of those being the temperature. Now, tonight, still going to be chilly. Not quite what it was last night. We got down pretty low last night, about 33, 34. Tonight, still going to be cold enough, though. 37 will be the low this evening, but we will continue to warm up after that. By Sunday, we're going to have a high back in the 70s and a low in the upper 50s. And it's going to stay that way for a big chunk of the week next week. But rain all through the forecast. If you think the ground is saturated now here in Pike County, give it a week and check back with me. Beautiful day today and tomorrow. Saturday, Sunday, Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, a chance of rain every day and every night. Starting Saturday just afternoon straight through. Once again, our burn ban prevention program is operating at peak efficiency. We do not have to worry about that one bit. Now, one other thing, I want to get back to this because everybody's talking about this. You heard Tracy and I at the beginning of North Pike Thursday talk briefly about the drones. We talked a lot more about it once we get off the air. They are spreading out. They have been cited officially all over the place and have been for a while, but everyone's focused on New Jersey. The narrative wants you to think this is a New Jersey problem. They have been cited in Florida, in Ohio, in California, in Oregon. You get the idea. They're coast to coast. We've seen these things. And Louisiana, we can now add to, because we had 2 reported sightings last night, one in Hammond and one in Houma. I have been telling you for over a week, keep your eyes up, keep looking, because these things tend to hang around some type of military facility or critical infrastructure. So keep your eyes up and just keep your camera ready. You might catch a good picture. You might catch a very good picture, and then we can trace it back, and we can figure out how it is the fault of the mayor of Summit, Mississippi. Mayor Percy, how you doing?
Great. How are you this morning?
Pretty good. He's here to do some work as soon as we get off the air. I'm still on the air. You walked in. It's your fault.
Okay.
How's Christmas going in Summit?
So far, so good. Had a great Christmas parade.
Yeah, the Christmas parade was spectacular.
And then we had a fantastic fireworks display.
Yeah, I know. Now, how did that come about?
Mercedes Ricks, who owned Malposa, she's the one that put it on.
You know, I have found in my years that a lot of times when you ask the question, who did that? Mercedes is an acceptable answer.
Well, it was Mercedes.
Yeah, that's the way she does. How are you doing?
Good, very good.
Very good. It's a good time of year. Summit is busy. I never see an empty parking spot.
Really, really busy. I mean, people are shopping. They're coming in from out of town shopping. So we're doing great.
Yeah, it's fantastic. Well, Summit is kind of a model, if you ask me, for what especially a small town should be.
Well, we sit right on a major thoroughfare on 51, so we're easily accessible. People can get to us from the interstate, and cars go up and down 51 all day. And then the merchants downtown, they advertise on Facebook and Twitter and Instagram, and they bring people from all over the place.
All over the country.
Especially those vendor malls.
Have you had to sign any autographs yet?
For what?
Well, you're the mayor.
Yeah, man, I haven't signed any autographs.
Okay, well, we gotta work on that.
No one ever asked me for an autograph.
Yeah, we gotta work on that.
I mean, I'm just a regular Joe that that just go and do a job. That's it.
And you ask anybody, you do a fantastic job of it, too.
Well, I appreciate that, but it's just, I love what I do.
Yeah, well, that makes it easy to do a good job when you're enjoying what you're doing.
Yeah, it does.
Very much so. Well, we're up against the final break here. We're going to take that, then we're going to come back and close it down for this Thursday morning. And then the mayor and I will get down to business. We have secret stuff to do after we get off the air here. We'll finish it up for this Thursday morning right after this on Super Talk, Mississippi, Pike County 93.5. Keep it here.
Needing some extra cash? Do you have any fine art, rarities, military memorabilia, scrap gold or silver, watches, coins or currency, broken old jewelry that you don't need anymore? Come see us at Selman's Tuesday, December 10th through Thursday, December 12th, and turn that into cash on the spot. Experts here to help you out with your needs, and then you can do some Christmas shopping. Selman's, 1311 Delaware Avenue, Macomb, your family-owned and operated jewelry store since 1945.
Don't miss Dave in the morning. Even when you miss it the first time, you can catch it on the podcast. Missing out would be a crime. Super Talk 93.5 is always the place to be. Want to get the podcast version? Here, my friend, is the key. SuperTalkPikeCounty.com. It's all there and it's all the rage. Spotify, Amazon, or Apple, just right there on the page. Dave in the morning, late at night, or anytime you have the crave. SuperTalkPikeCounty.com.
Dave Hughes here. Remember, every weekday morning at 9:06, it's Dave in the Morning, where we solve the problems of the world, or at least complain about them really loudly and sarcastically. And if you miss out, you can catch up with the podcast version of Dave in the Morning at SuperTalkPikeCounty.com.
Closing time. Open all the doors and let you out into the world. Closing time. Turn all of the lights on over every boy and every
Don't forget the Pike County Little Theater. Jingle All the Way. Opening up tonight. Then Saturday night. Well, then Saturday night also, a bunch of yoo-hoos are getting together at the State Theater. Your imaginary friends are having a reunion. I'm one of them. I'm not sure if that's bringing people in or running them off, Mayor.
I don't know. You'll be there, you'll see.
Yeah, I'll be there, and then we'll find out. I'm just. I'm just hoping there are no ordinances broken. That's all we can hope for, Have a wonderful Thursday. Again, tomorrow in the chair, bright and early in about 20 minutes, it feels like, for the Gallo Show, starting at 6:06. You have a good, safe, wonderful, warm day. And my friend, I'll see you then.
SuperTalk Mississippi Media Production.